Hi there, Internet people. This is Chris Kutzer, founder of Cary Spotlight, a hyperlocal newsletter here in Cary, North Carolina. We are 3 days away from the anniversary edition of Cary Spotlight, and we send out our email newsletter on a daily basis. And in this episode, we're going to be reviewing week 50 of our publication. We're looking back at the week that was to see some of the things that we have accomplished, some content ideas that we can move forward into the new year, and some things that we've incorporated since we started this journey. So let's get started and help people out who may be planning to publish their own hyper local newsletter, and also for myself to look back maybe 1 year from now to see what I was thinking. All right, so here we go. On this one, let's make it a little bigger. Why are we so small? 100%. Maybe a little smaller. Okay, so this one, this is our Tuesday edition. It's the beginning of our editorial week. We're looking at three-part subject line, also headline for the newsletter, and we are dealing with the impacts of tropical storm, which started off as a hurricane in Florida and then ended up dumping a whole bunch of rain and destruction on the western part of North Carolina. And we also have a sports news and then a vote that's coming up. So let's have a look at what we were up to. So again, the tropical storm has been really bad. Over 35 people dead, hundreds of people are missing. So we are sharing some of the destruction and the stuff that's going on and how people can help and how the state has rallied to support these communities in the Western Mountain region of the state. We have our standard format for recapping the games of the North Carolina Courage, a professional women's team based out of Cary. And we typically do a summary as well as access to the full report, their standings, and the schedule. And then also you give our readers opportunity to give feedback if they attend the games or not. Next, we have our ongoing election countdown series, and this is a major election year. And we are talking about some of the ideas put forth for expanding the libraries or getting a library funded through a bond. So give people ideas what that bond is going to be used for, and they can go and get their own information about voting in different counties that we cover, and also get more information about the bond issue. Then we have our standard Cary Police Department crime data section. We pull data directly from the Cary Police Department website and we publish it here. People can link to the full database so they can see the kind of crimes that happened over the past 7 days, so they can go have a look at that. And we also have an ongoing Savor Cary series where we're looking at different restaurants or eateries that people have nominated based on a reader survey that we did earlier in the year. So we do that. We also announced the winner for our VIP dining experience. And then we have our long list of events and the answer to the trivia question. Okay. Next is our first specialty edition of the week, which is our Wellness Wednesdays. We deal with health, mental health, physical health, anything to do with the body, the mind, spirit, also connection in the community. So in this issue, we covered a donation drive. So this is actually where it's a call to action. We replaced the daily meme, which is like a cartoon or something funny, something cute saying, with a call to action for donation drive, what people need, where they can go, and deliver the goods that people are needing. So put that there. And then we have health and wellness, so report about cancer cases among women under 50. So make people aware of that. And then we also had a discussion about mental health, success and happiness, and the role that friends play in that, and also being connected, right? And then we have a self-care is essential. So again, we have that as a topic and the takeaway. And there's a quiz involved with that. And then we have another Savor Cary recommendation, another eatery in town that people can go try out. They can also give a feedback on things they recommend at this place or indicate that they're interested in giving it a try. Then we have our events and the answer to the trivia question. So Thursday, we're looking at 1, 2, 3-part. Yes, we do a 3-part here. Headline. We try to keep it 3-part. It's just easier for people to kind of scan to see the major stories that we're covering. And here we're talking about Hurricane Helene, and it's now affecting the crops in North Carolina, and it's also participation of these farms that were affected by the flooding in the state fair that's coming up. And then we have relief teams coming from Wake County that are going to go help people in that area. And we had a reader poll here to see if people knew anyone living in those areas. And we got a lot of response from that. And then next we'll have a business spotlight. And focusing on this, they also have a video embedded there. And we have all the contact information and stuff like that. And we have another Save a Cary recommendation, Chef's Palette. And in this case, the same as before, people can give their feedback on whether they like the place, what they really liked at the restaurant, and also indicate if they'll be interested in trying if they've never been. And super long list. And we also end with the trivia question. Now, this week's trivia questions were all based about facts about Hispanic Heritage Month. So a lot of the questions reflect that. On Friday, we did 1, 2, 3, same. So now I know we used to experiment with 4-part, but we're sticking to the three-part subject line to get people in. And in this case, we have a crime story. These are always, the sex crime stories are always challenging, especially with some filters or things that an email delivery may be slightly affected by this. So we're not using sex crimes as some kind of a clickbait to get people in. This actual crimes that are happening, and we have to discuss it. And we also then balance the bad story with a positive story where people at NC State, students helping to collect relief funds or help with the recovery effort for folks in Asheville. And we also include the links for people to give donations to reputable places and not to get ripped off by people doing scams. And then here's another one of those pride topics for somebody to feel good about North Carolina. It's the coolest thing made in North Carolina. So that was announced, so people can go check that out. There was a lot of interest in that story. And then this is a callback from a book, Recon or excuse me, a review that we did for one of our subscribers. This is actually a book that about his dad, and it was published here. And in memory of his grandfather. So that information was here, and we republished it with some new information. And then on to our favorite Cary restaurant recommendation right there. And by now we know the format that we're following there. And we have events coming up for the week. And this one, we are 1, 2, 3. Again, this week is dominated by the hurricane Helene aftermath and how that is shaping up. So this is all about the Hurricane Helene and how it's the deadliest in the U.S. Storm history. It's one of the deadliest. And then also how to prepare your home for winter. There's a workshop coming up for energy saving. So that's something good. Probably have to look out for that next year at around the same time to let people know about. This is a workshop presented by the town of Cary, so you can anticipate that should be there again. And here we have a benefit concert that's been moved from Asheville to Cary. Originally, there was a concert scheduled for Asheville, and the artist moved his concert to Cary and changed it into a benefit concert for the hurricane victims. So that was pretty cool. And Savor Cary, another restaurant recommendation. And now we have a little bit of interaction more with our readers to say, why do you enjoy eating out? We brought this particular survey back from previously in the year. So there you go. That's something that we learned from the review that we had some cool surveys that we haven't used in a while. And then we end up with our second specialty edition, which is the Travel and Discovery edition. And this one, we are actually doing a spotlight on a travel agency. This is a little bit of a break from our traditional local business focus. And in full transparency, this person happens to be South African as an expat. I'm born South African American, I guess, as you want to call me that. So that's our connection. And there's a lot of South Africans in Cary, and many folks actually interested in going to Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. So I allowed it. I allowed it. I did the editorial thing, used the powers of the editorial pen, and allowed this story to be run because I would love to share the beauty of South Africa and Africa with anybody and everybody. So there you go. So sometimes rules can be broken. And then RDU had new restaurants open. So that's a story about the airport. And then we also have coordinated aviation response because there's so many flights going towards the devastated areas and making sure that people don't, get in trouble with all the air traffic. So there you go. We have the South Africa and American connection and letting people know how they can craft unforgettable journeys. So that's something good. And we also did a survey to see if people are interested in more stories like that. So that was good. We got some good response for that. And then also, I already spoke about this new restaurants opening at the airport. And they also focus on local flavors. So when people are stuck in the airport, they can actually sample some of the restaurants that, or the type of food from the area. So, and then we again noted the story about the aviation response as well as quick links where people can get up-to-date information from valid, reliable sources. Okay. And Save a Cary moment, we covered a pizzeria. We don't always do pizzerias, but in this particular case, we did. It came highly recommended, so we put that in there and got feedback on this particular eatery. And then we also included a tasty trend. This is a callback. This is one of the sandwiches that I noted in my earlier review that this is definitely something I want to put back again. And this we did, and also got people opportunity to respond whether or not this was really a tasty, tempting recipe. And then we also do in the Discover section, we also typically now include historical trivia so people can learn more about Cary's history. And this is the section right here, the answer to that. And then finally, we end up with the real estate issue, which is the end of our editorial week, which ends on a Monday. And it happens to be the third specialty edition where we cover Cary real estate and the property sold in Cary in the last week. And we also had a special interview with Kay Miller from the Cary Garden Club. So we put that in this section as well. So we have our typical links to the listings and the average prices. We also have feedback on what the qualities they look for in a realtor. And then this falls under the house hacks and because garden and how people can interact with the club. And then we also have some summary notes, almost like a mini podcast. So it is a mini podcast. So that's what it is. Okay. And that's it. That's the end of this week. Oh,